Good morning. I had to laugh when you were talking about how orderly everything was because you were looking at the line of pots. Of course, I don't think of it as being very orderly out here. You know, managed, not manicured. So let's take the morning tour here from the back side, so to speak. Of course, the knockout roses, they're going to be moved. Plum tree there on the right, doing well after only 2 years. My little baby rescue crepe myrtle, butterfly bushes. Of course, the maple right out front, or out back, I guess. My little pre-bonsai projects. Of course, Max is under my feet sleeping and won't move. A Laura pedalum, a rose of Sharon, some boxwood, a chaste tree. It's coreopsis down low, the little green stuff in the dirt. That's Lily's wisteria, Chinese wisteria, that she planted by seed a couple years ago. Got a fig that's twisting around the pot, Momo pine, Nandina, and then that's in the ground in the tea olive. And then we have I believe that's an Empress of China dogwood. And of course, going down the crepe myrtle lane, I've been very aggressive limbing them up, and I'm going to get a little tunnel effect here on the back row, as I call it. And swing down here. Got another one of the figs that was pretty much in the discard bin that we're going to turn into a bonsai. This little hydrangea was just a twig pretty much that I found, so I put it in the ground, doing well. Azalea. This is the, my mind just skips here. I can't remember. It's what I gave you, and now I can't think of the name of it. The tea olive that Chris gave me that actually grew off of a branch that had been pushed down into the ground and rooted. So he just cut off the chunk and gave it to me. Of course, another Japanese maple. That thing is a Weigela. And then there's a little hydrangea. I think that's an oak leaf. We'll see what happens to it. And then the beds over there, we've got, of course, Japanese maple, and then I had to rescue a bunch of stuff. There's a rose of Sharon in there. There's a hydrangea in there. There's another hydrangea. There's a little gardenia in there. There's lavender. We'll come around here. And, of course, Tree Lane. Trying to get some shade. The elm, this elm has just grown pretty much out of its mind. Kind of crazy. Little dogwood, that came from Arbor Day, little stick. And then as we turn, of course, I'm trying to get this holly to grow as a tree. It's doing well. Another one of those Dallas red crepe myrtles, which I like. Hazelnut, which is struggling. Hazelnuts need to be, I think, on more of a border in terms of shade and sun here. It's awfully hot and humid for them. I have put in some dogwood. And all the way in the distance, maybe you can see the dogwood's fruiting. We're getting a little color. Of course, the French marigold, now everything's overgrown. That's why I laughed about the orderly, the lavender. Forsythia cutting on the corner here on the left. And the rosemary's pretty much gone crazy. There's a little pepper in there that I don't think's actually going to produce peppers. More lavender. Again, one of my fallow beds. It has a knockout in it. Peppers growing, sort of. The bugs get them when they turn red. Rescue hydrangea. My little coffee rose. I'm letting the clover go. course, there we have the Japanese maples I got from the Woodies. Turn back around this way. Again, a rescue Japanese maple that just pretty much was dead. It finally has decided to revive itself. Rescue hydrangea. That is a lavender in the middle there, and again the little gardenia in the back. And tea olive. And then andina, so we made the little loop. Okay, butterfly bush, of course. Now, I was telling you the tomatoes that are out of control. The lower part, of course, that's the, it's Hungarian paste tomato that I'm having a war with the caterpillars on. And in the back, that enormous mass are cherry tomatoes. French marigolds. These are all, of course, roses of Sharon that I've grown, and then a crepe myrtle I'm growing for the Woodies. So it has 3 trunks. These are all cuttings off of my Rose of Sharon and Papa's Rose of Sharon that we cut back every year. Again, some rescue Roses of Sharon. I had the potting soil problem. Now this is what's left of the tomato plant that was volunteer. I took probably a quart off of it yesterday. I can hold this steady enough and you can see that is one little plant, volunteer, that came up by itself. Of course, another butterfly bush. Kind of a rescue project. Now down in there, you see the little squash that I'm trying to hide from the bugs. We'll see how that goes. And of course out here, apple tree, peaches, little apricot not doing so well. And sometimes I think the heat and humidity is pretty tough. Now this is a fallow bed. This is the one where I just threw the seeds out in the Bermuda. That's gone wild, and I've taken a lot of good tomatoes off of this one. It's great. Another fallow bed with a rescue Dallas Red. There's a little Carolina spruce I'll take out probably late February. Pot them up. Again, this is the chaos of how it goes out here. Oh, there's a little cherry down in there, cherry tomatoes. Again, I just tossed the seeds in. These beds have grown so much, I decided just to let them go this year. Little rescue hydrangea. Knockout's not doing very well. I need to get the grass off of it. It's great. You can just walk around the yard. Actually, a Japanese maple's got a lot of new growth on it, which is great. They say it takes 2 to 3 years for them to adjust to new soil. Of course, a little butterfly out here. I've got them spread around, help with pollination. And my rescue $10 crabapple. The fruit is slowly disappearing. I guess maybe the birds are taking it. This is the, what's it called? Oh, Sunbelt, the Sunbelt grape. It's done really well. It's actually leafing out. It's supposed to do very well in heat and humidity. I put one at each end. And then the other arbor, or arbor in progress, this is a flame grape, which is supposed to be a great table grape and for raisins. And the reason the structure is so much bigger is it's supposed to be phenomenally aggressive. The kind like if you wanted an arbor over your patio, this would be one to go with. Almond trees, almond tree, little almond tree, almond, almond. My Yoshino cherry got attacked by caterpillars. You can see. It's going down to the other crabapple here. Cypress vine running on the fence, little flowers. Of course, the hummingbirds and butterflies love that, especially the hummingbirds. I was saying one of my crab apples was covered with fruit. I get around here so the sun is on it. And really, if I want the tree to tree, I need to come out and pick all that off so it's not fruiting. Of course, this is the back side of the little orchard area. Jujube trees, which haven't produced fruit. I'm hoping next year, because they did flower this year for the first time. Of course, peach trees. And of course, the sun is coming up over the lake. Well, that's my honey locust tree out there. My $7, I wonder how it'll do. It was a foot tall. Actually, that's not true. It was probably about 2 feet tall. Nice morning now that the breeze is up. Okay, there you go, a little tour.